Uh, there's a, yeah, part three, but it's not part three. Did I put it in? I can't remember. I never. I plan things for years, and I write many notes, and then I just do them without my notes. Right. I was just about to get into it. Yeah. If I'm using a file store, and right, I am very, very, very thorough and careful. Very. I'll go for a wander up the hill, and something will come back to me. Oh, I've got a blog page that's still set on Contempo Light, which doesn't look like one standalone page. It contracts it into... Anyway, and I'll think, oh, I've got to change that. Right. If I send a link, if I provide a folder and it's not working, please let me know. I am very, very with it. It will be an anathema, a one-off little technical hitch, probably at your end, but quick, efficient communications about such things are critical. So, and everybody, please reply to an email, even if it's just one word. And you see, when I send emails out, just like the old days, nothing's changed. You know, you have all these silly, silly people who say everything's speeded up. No, it hasn't, because people only have so much capacity. Okay? 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when you sent a letter out, you'd say, okay. Most people will reply in a couple of weeks. Same for an email. But one little exception. It's not an exception. There's a little protocol to keep the spam filters, which 3 or 4 years ago started to go wonky, but definitely in 2020 went really awry. And I'm an expert. I've had dozens of email accounts over the years. To keep them happy, just one word back. Acknowledged. We'll get to this in a week or two. Fine. Absolutely fine. But it's just the acknowledged that matters. Because we all know that in Outlook, which I've been using for years, all iterations of it, Outlook Express was better in the old days. Yeah, you can't, the red receipt system doesn't seem to work anymore. So there we go, simple as that. Why did I turn my camera back on? Efficiency. Time is the enemy. There are no enemies, but trying not to waste somebody else's time. I think people will get it one day. Truly is the most important thing on the universe. In the universe. Right, there we go, that'll do. Don't think there's anything else. And, yeah, don't waste anybody's time talking about consumer electronics. Well, the same applies to semi-professional electronics. I bought one, an Asden Pro radio mic thing. They break continually. Don't get angsty about it. It's just wasting everybody's time. You know, I want the good old-fashioned homespun women in charge of everything for a decade, and the first rule they bring in is anything sold must be of good merchantable quality. Doesn't matter whether it comes from the European Union, blah blah blah, China, wherever. That's it from now on. That's it. That's rule number one. And then we may have a lot less angst in society. And I don't think men can do that. Men understand the engineering and the technicalities perhaps more, because many men have been more traditionally involved in all of that. But I want some women involved who will bash, well, I don't think the contemporary, I hope the contemporary woman has moved on from the handbag, but will just stick their fucking foot in the ground. That's why we need British women, because they never change their mind. Right? That's it. It's all gonna work in the future. Because until somebody, of course it won't happen. This is an absurd thing I'm saying. This is the only absurd thing I'm saying. But until somebody gets on top of all of that, This it adds into the mental health, and because you see, my whole setting is what's good for psychological what leads to healthier psychological upbringings for kids. That's my total religion. How on earth can parents be giving kids their full attention for the last decade or two? I mean, never mind, they shouldn't be on their phone. I'm hardly ever on mine. But when continually the things that they buy for their kids are breaking continually, your heart goes out. But it seems to be it's the ultimate black hole that they're getting sucked into, that ends up as a vicious circle, because they're just going to be not enabling or some of the time not enabling that attachment to its fullest potential. There we go. There's something slightly more controversial to say. I've been asking quite a few women over the last 5 years. There's a few that I know that are so fabulous, my age group. When you meet a woman who's so content, funny, who has no hang-ups, I know two who only met 2 or 3 years ago. I'll monitor them for a little while. I'll let their character come through. And then when you realise they are the real thing, they have no hang-ups and are truly people at peace, I'll ask them a little bit later on, what's your relationship? What was your relationship like with your father? And it's absolutely astonishing. Always those women had a tremendously healthy, good relationship with their father. It matters for life. Unless the cultural construct within has changed so much the last 10 or 20 years that a new psychological paradigm genuinely does arise and take over. There we go.